Hi everyone, it's Sarah Fancy, and I want to talk about a book that I've just completed. It's actually an ebook, so it's like a PDF, and it's called Learn the Foundations of Family Constellation, and it goes with my 8-month course that starts in August. That's an online course. Anyway, I wanted to talk about one chapter in the book, and it's called Post Abortion Reconciliations. Okay, so it's post abortion reconciliation. So, what that means is that after an abortion, the mother can reconnect with her baby. Okay, maybe more than one. And why is that important? You might want to ask. Why is that important to do that? Well, it is important because in the family constellation principles, right, we're looking at everyone belongs. And when someone is missing, it creates havoc in the system. So we look at the family as a system. That's why it's also known as systemic constellations or systemic family constellations. And aborted babies count as missing people in the family. So, some might argue that and say, well, you know, um, I don't know, like a certain time limit of when it's considered, the fetus is considered human or all this, In my experience, if it's beyond a month, it's usually impacts the woman, okay? In ways that people or women have no idea about. Okay. So, no idea that the things happening in their lives, which is probably like a lot of not great things happening, struggling or just obstacles along the way. I don't know. It's different for everyone, but that could be related to the abortion. And if it's not, something is related to that. Okay. So I used to be a bit timid about talking about this, but I think it's really important because it's like 70% of my work is doing these post abortion reconciliation sessions, as a constellation, whether it's with horses or a tabletop. And it really does help the woman, right, have a better life. And it also helps the baby to move on, I think. So the way that I see it is when there's an aborted baby, that the spirit of that baby gets frozen in a way because there's a lot of um, dismissiveness around that baby, like that it never existed or it's just fetal tissue and it doesn't matter, and so it's basically denying a member of the family their place. So we look at that in constellations. That's one of the main principles. As I said, everyone belongs or everybody belongs. And so the spirit of that baby tends to be, I see it as being frozen. And then when there's this connection, so what we're doing is we're connecting the mother to the baby. And there's a flow of love, let's say that, like through the eyes, reaches the heart. And it really frees up the baby, it frees up the mother. So I was thinking about this next thing I want to tell you, and in a way to explain it that is simple. But the way that I look at as karma, I don't really see it as, you know, someone else putting that on us, like, well, this is your karma, or you're going to get the karma because you did da 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 da. I see it as ourselves reinforce that, like, you know, because I did that, because I killed my baby, because essentially that's what you did, or not you, women do, a lot of women do, then I'm going to pay for that in some kind of way, right? So whether that's I don't get to have more children, or I don't get the family I really want, or I'm going to attract people that don't really love me, or, I'm going to attract the kind of partners that don't honor me. Okay. That's the way I see it, is that it's kind of like a self-inflicted karmic response to aborting the baby or babies, right? And it's not conscious. Like, so let me emphasize that it is not conscious. And as you get more into this work, the post-abortion reconciliation in particular, it becomes quite complex. All right. So I'm not going to talk about everything in this little preview, because I just wanted to put it out there that it's a huge part of my work. I've written extensively about it in this new book. And yeah, I just wanted to talk about it, because I think it needs to be spoken about. And I just want you to know I'm not judging anyone. I don't care, right? I don't care. You do whatever you want. All right. Um, but if you want to come and work with me, or if I'm teaching students, I'm going to tell them everything that I've told you and more, in a sense of how do we heal that? Like, how do we resolve that? Okay. Because it goes against a woman's nature, her nurturing nature, it goes against it. And I know, you know, you might think it's nothing, right? I'm telling you, it is something. And I'm not coming from a political view. I don't vote for anyone. I don't like any of that. I don't like any of that. I'm not looking through a political lens. I'm coming from a constellation lens. Okay. And I'm not affiliated with any religion. Okay. I'm not. Again, I'm looking through the lens of the family system when someone is missing, and how do we repair that? All right. So the great news is that there is a way to repair that. It's quite simple, and then it can get a little complex too. But when I was writing the book, I looked up the numbers, and it's 75 million women on this plane a year, abort a baby, right? One or more. I don't know. They estimated total is 75 million. That's a lot of women. That's a lot of women that could really use this kind of work. Okay. It's a little different for men. I mean, men are impacted, no doubt. Men are also affected. But the woman is the one that really has to go ahead with it, right? Like, make the decision as far as get herself to the clinic or wherever she's going to do it, hospital, and get the procedure done. Okay. It's the woman that has to bear those consequences. And but the man is a huge part of it too. And the man in the situation is often forgotten. All right. But then again, you have a missing person when the father is not honored for being a father or given his place as a father, regardless of whether the baby comes through or not. Okay. So, yeah, I just wanted to talk about this to get you kind of thinking about this. And yeah, if you're interested in my book, it's going to be available in about a week. It's just going to be available on my website. I'm not putting it on Amazon or anything like that. Why am I not doing that? because essentially it's for my students. Like I said, it goes in hand with the course, but it is going to be available separately. But it's a specialized kind of work, and it can get kind of misconstrued to someone who has no idea about constellation work, right? And I guess I feel a little protective over the information. Not that it's my information. I mean, I've integrated my experiences into the book. There's a lot of case studies. And I go into areas that I haven't seen any other facilitators go into, and that are not really spoken about in depth. Well, let's just say that like really heavy duty trauma, generational trauma, but very heavy, a specific kind. And I'm not going to talk, maybe I'll talk about that in another video, but yeah, so I didn't feel right to just like put it on Amazon and for the layperson to poke their fingers at. So yeah, and also what I want to say is Hellinger's work, right? So this came together through Bert Hellinger. He was the one who synthesized these modalities from his experience. And again, he pulled, like, he didn't just like invent everything, right? Like, he pulled it together from his experiences and presented it in a way that Westerners can understand. But I just want to say this, it goes against traditional therapy. All right. It goes against traditional therapy. And that's probably why a lot of traditional therapists fall into family constellation, because it offers something that they don't have access to through the traditional training. Okay. Let me put it like this. So family constellation is not something that you would do every week. It's not, I don't see people every week. I don't want to. I want people to get better. I want people to be independent and sovereign and, move forward with their life. I don't want them to be dependent on me. That makes me feel like nauseous, right? Why would I want to babysit someone? Like, no, thanks. But yeah, empower someone, right? Help people go to the root cause. That's what constellations do, is we go right to the root cause. And that's far more interesting to me. And it helps people, and people make significant changes, which I can pretty much guarantee. If someone has never done a family constellation before, and they've been seeing a therapist for a long time, check out family constellation. Check it out and see if you're going to continue to need to see someone every week, right? Anyway, I think that's all I wanted to say. But if you're interested in what I talked about, then you can check out my website. It's called silverhorse.org. And I've also got other videos on this channel that you can check out. And the course I'm offering starts in August. It's at the end of August. And if you're at all interested in this, like, it's for beginners, but, check it out. It could really be something therapeutic for yourself. It's going to open up a whole way of seeing problems and people's problems and why they're not getting any better, why they're getting worse. Okay. Yeah. And what was the other thing? Oh, yeah. And if you have had an abortion, at least one, go maybe, and things aren't going well for you, right? Even if it was like 20 years ago, 30 years ago, 40 years ago, right? Get a constellation. with someone who knows what they're doing. I mean, yeah, obviously it'd be great if you see me, you can come get a horse constellation, or I work online, but there's other experienced facilitators too that can help you. And I would definitely pursue that, look into it. Okay. All right. Thanks for watching, everybody. I'm going to end now.